Hello guys, hope you're good. So in this lecture today we will cover about function in Python. I know that you have already familiar with Python variables, Python statements, and Python different operators. So today we will learn the concept about function in Python. Basically in Python, uh, so you can say that there are two type of function. One is actually the user-defined function. So, and the other one is the system-defined function. System-defined function means the functions which are already built in Python. For example, you can say operating system OS module or math module. So, but today we will just talk about the user-defined function means that a user like you, like me, they can just define function so that you can use in your program. So guys, before going into the technicality of the function, first we need to understand that what is function, why it is required. So function is nothing, just a block of code which is designated to do a specific job. And why it is required? So it is required to perform same task multiple times throughout our program. And so the good or the big advantage of a function is that there is no need to type the same code again and again. This is a big advantage of a function that you can use or you can reuse the code of the same segment of the program. So what we need to do only, you need to just call the function and that uh, that call will perform the same task which you are actually given in the block of that code. Okay, so now if we see that how we can define a function, very simple way. The way is that you need to use this reserved word that is called def, 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 and then this is actually the greet user is actually the user defined name. So you can say that greet user is the user defined name of the function, and then you need to close that function with two brackets, which are called the round brackets, and then you need to terminate the statement of the function by colon. So after this colon, if you will see that you are going to give a statement that is print hello. And so this is actually the function. And now you are going to call this function by its function name. So as you can see here that our function name is greet user. So now what we are doing that we are just calling greet underscore user and these brackets are empty. Guys, uh, there is a like significance of this bracket. In this case, the empty bracket means that this is a simple function call, and that's why you don't see any declaration or any variable or any parameters inside the inside this bracket. Okay. Now, when we will call this function, so it will display a message hello. Okay. So now we are just explaining that as I told you that def is actually the reserve word which we will start if we want to define a function. So we need to start with def reserved statement and then we need to name of a function like this. Here the name of our function is greet user. Again, it is a user defined name. Okay. The parentheses hold that information. So in previous information like here, there is nothing inside the parentheses. And in this case, parentheses are empty because there is no information to hold. And definition ends at colon as I explained you earlier. Okay, guys. Now, if you see one important thing, and you have learned in this Python already, that there is a need of indentation. So, when you will place the colons and when you will press enter, so there will be a automatic indentation. So I just explained, like, for example, here, if you see that, for instance, this is a the name of the function is display message, and this is the colon. When I place, or when I press enter, so you see that the second line will start from here. So this is called indentation actually. So this is called indentation, and you have to start your next statement, which which is the part of this function. You must start from this blinking cursor or blinking line. Okay. So, okay. So now what we are doing here, we have done this, and we have learned that actually what is the body. So this is actually the body of the, so this one line is actually the body of the function in this case. But depending upon the type of the problem, you may have 10 statements or 100 statements, which will make the body of your own function. Okay. So, so whenever you want to call this function, how you will call it? Very simple. You will name the function, just like in this case, we have greet underscore user, and then you will close the bracket, and that's it. So this is very simple call. Okay, guys. Okay, now we have learned about that how actually we can create or define a very simple function, and we did that. Okay, now just imagine that you want to write the same function or rewrite the same function, but this time what you actually want, that you want to greet a user, for example, greet a customer. For example, in your class, there are 38 or 28 students, so you want that whenever your program will run, it should call the name of a person. For example, Newton, hello Newton, or hello Priyanka, or hello Tarek. So in that case, what you are going to do? So you are using uh, this part is same, but within the bracket you are using a variable name. And I hope you have already know what is variable. So variable is actually hold a numeric or non-numeric value. Okay, so so what in this case will happen, it is the same, and this is, don't bother about this. This is actually the reserved, the statement or the command, which actually display the title of the username, and this is the sign of exclamation, sorry. So this is actually the string which you can use. So now what is going on here? Very simple. You have used the same name, but this time you have used one variable, which will hold the value. And when you are calling the same function, so you are using the value of what? The value of the username. And here the value is Jesse. So what you are doing, you are passing this Jesse to username, and whenever you will call this uh, function with different values, so you will see that the different value being displayed. Okay, for instance, if you will change, so you can call this multiple times with different values. For instance, if I just quickly open this one, and I want that, for example, the same example I will take, and I will just, what I will do here, I will just write dev, and I say greet underscore user, and then I'm using username. And then guys, see, this is the colon. When I press enter, so my cursor is blinking. So here it means that I want to start my next uh, uh, the line from starting from here. So I'm just saying hello. and then I'm just closing it. And then if you remember, so it is this plus means that we are going to concatenate. We are going to concatenate. And what we are going to concatenate? We are going to concatenate our variable name, that is the username here. And then we are closing it. Okay. Now, this is the complete function. And so this function is complete now. So now what I'm going to do? So I'm just going to call my function. And in this case, my function is greet underscore user. And here what I'm going to do, I'm using the name, suppose Jessica. And for example, what I'm doing, I'm calling this function 3 times with different values. So, and just to let you know that, for instance, you are calling this function with 3 different values. So, suppose Newton. Okay, now guys, what we did that we have written this function, and this username is one variable which will hold the value which we are passing through. Now what I will do, I will just save it first and save it. And now I will run this program. Okay, guys. So here you can see hello Jessica, hello Tariq, and hello Newton. So these are the 3 values which actually what we did here, that we passed these 3 values, and then it is actually displaying. Okay. Now we will go back to our slide. Okay, guys. So now what we did, that we not only passed one value, but we have passed 3 more values. Okay. So this is the explanation which I have already done it. Okay. Now, okay, this is the message which will be displayed. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, very important thing you must know about arguments and parameters. Okay. So if we will go back to previous example, if we see here, so you see that here is username. So username is actually a variable which will hold the value which we will pass later on while calling the function. So this variable is called a this variable is called a parameter. This variable is called a parameters while we are passing these 3 values. So these values are called arguments. These values are called arguments. So guys, sometime it might be possible that some people are using them interchangeably. So there is no need of any confusion. But for the sake of your understanding, the variables are called parameters and the values are called arguments. So if I go back to my second slide, so here you see that parentheses are empty. It means that there is no parameter here, means there is no variable to hold the value. Okay, guys. So please don't forget, don't mix these two, because sometimes you may do mistake, but no worries. So anyways, okay. So I explained that in the example, Jesse is actually the argument. And if I just show you this example, so here Jessica is the argument, Tariq is the argument, Newton is the argument, while username is our variable. I hope now you understand it. Okay, now. Okay. So, okay. So now, so here, people sometimes speak of arguments and parameters interchangeably. Don't be surprised. So if you see variables in a function, definition referred to as arguments, or to variable in a function called referred to as parameters. So don't worry. So one is actually the variable, the other one is the argument. Okay, guys. Now class activity 1. So please quickly open your laptops, open your machines and try to code for me. Write a function called display message that prints one sentence telling everyone what you are learning about. Call the function and make sure the message display correctly. Okay, so I will do with you. I just delete this one. Now what is the activity? Activity says that I need to write a function named display message. Okay, I start from here. As I told you, that function starts with the result key def. Then the name of the function is display underscore message. And then because it is a simple function, so I didn't include any variables or parameters. Then I place colon. It is the syntax when I press enter. So now it allows me to start my next line here. And what is the objective here? Print one sentence telling everyone what you are learning about. Okay, so here we will write print, and then we are learning function in Python. And then we are closing the course, and that's all. Okay, so so now we have actually what we have done so far. We have defined our function, and now we are going to call it. Okay, so what I told you, how to call it, to just you can call the name of the function. Sorry guys, it is display. L is missing. Display. Yes. So display underscore message and round brackets. Okay. Now save, and I'm going to run it and see. Wow, fantastic! We are learning function in Python, or we are learning Python function. Whatever you are just writing, so you are just receiving the same. Okay, dokie. Okay, now, so you have done it great. Now, class activity 2. Okay, guys, this activity I will do with you. What is the activity? Write a function called favorite book that accepts one parameter, title. The function should print a message such as one of my favorite books is Alice in Wonderland. Call the function. Make sure to include a book title as an argument in the function call. Okay, so I open my file again, and I'm just deleting this stuff. And now I will just write a function for you guys. Again, I will start the function with def keyword, and then I will write the name of the function, that is favorite and underscore book, and then colons, and then, but here we need to declare parameter title. Okay, so uh, we will just write title as our parameter. And then what is the function should print a message such as one of my favorite books. Okay. So this one. So one of my favorite books is Alice in Wonderland. So it means that Alice in Wonderland is the name of the book. Okay. So what we will do, we will write print and then course, and then we will paste it, but we will remove this part because this is the value of the arguments actually. Okay, and then I will close this, and maybe I need to make a space so that it looks good when it will display. Okay, now I'm going to call my function, and the function name is favorite underscore book, and then, so now what I need to do, because one parameter I have declared, so I have to give the value, and the value is Alice in Wonderland. Okay, so now this is my argument, and now I am just passing through this to my function. Okay, so now we are going to save it, and at the moment, oh, wow, one of my favorite book is, oh, why it is not displaying? Okay, go back to the to the code. What is wrong with this? Okay, one of my favorite book is this. Why it is not? So we will check the spellings. Spellings are okay. Then what happened? So, okay. So maybe one of my book is this. Yes. So the problem is that here we have given the string, but we didn't actually give the variable here. This was the problem. Okay, now we will run it again and see. Wow, fantastic. One of my favorite book is Alice in Wonderland. Oh, you done it. So guys, see how it is simple. Okay, so now we have done without parameters. We have done with parameters. Now let's see what is next. Oh, write a table of product from 1 to 10 on any number. We should pass an argument to the function. Display a product of table should be like, okay. So guys, it is very simple program, but you need to see that actually how it will work. So I will give you a hint, maybe or not. Okay. So I just leave on you guys that you have to do it by yourself. And I just tell you that because this is the product of any table from 1 to 10, so it means that you need to call this function how many times? Yes, 10 times. So you have to call this function 10 times so that it can print for you. This is one option. 10 times you need to call, or there is another way that you need to pass the value for which you want the table, and then you need to use loop in your program, and then you can, so there are multiple ways. So now please do let me know in the remarks or in the comment section that whether you have done it successfully. I hope it is easy, you can do it. Okay, guys. So far, so forth, what we learned, the function without parameters, the function with one parameter. Now, guys, what will what we will do if we are dealing with multiple parameters and multiple arguments? Very simple. So the procedure is the same. For example, here we are using two parameters. And when we will call this function, so we will pass two arguments. Very simple. So here you can just see that what we have done, that we have called this function two times and pass two values. Okay, so this is the example. If you see here that this is actually the student info like function, and I have used two parameters like student ID and student name. And then I have actually printed using the print statement. This is the variable name or parameter student name, student ID. So here I have passed on uh, the arguments. So guys, here you need to be very careful because in both cases, if you see student name and student ID, so here, if you see that in this example, what we are doing, that we are actually uh, passing through the student name is student name and student ID is student ID. But in parameters, what we are doing, in arguments, what we are doing when we are passing arguments, so we are passing this student ID to student ID and student name to student name. But if I just swap it, if I just write Jasleen here and entity TT12 here, so because computer doesn't understand because both are string, so it can just swap and your answer will be wrong because then you will when you will display the message, the student name is will come NDIT123 and student ID is Jasleen. So you need to be careful. So this is called the actually positional. So this is the position. So you have to be very careful when you are passing the arguments to a function that their positional arguments must be same or aligned with their parameters. Okay, guys. Sometimes it might be possible that you are using different values. So, and what is the advantage of default value? For example, if you use a default value in your function, so the main advantage of that when you are calling that function, and if you forget to give the arguments to that function, still that function will be executed for you and it will use the default value. Okay. For example, in this case, if we see this example, so here the same information, the function student info, and here I'm using student ID and student name Tariq. So this is actually the default value of this parameter. Okay. So when you will run this function, so what it will do? So if you see, I have called this function 2 times. So in first instance, when I will call this function, so I have only given one argument. See, there are two parameters, but I passed one argument. So, but my answer is student name is Tariq and student ID is 1234. Why? Because it has used the default value. In second instance, when I called the same function once again, I gave two arguments. And this time I have also given the name Naveed. So see, so now Tariq is replaced with Naveed. So this is the advantage of default function. Okay, guys. So you need to avoid argument error. So when you don't pass values of parameters, then you have to face error. So you should avoid the argument error. For example, if you don't give something like that here you are using two parameters, but in arguments you are not passing anything, so you will get this error. So you need to avoid it. Okay, guys, this is activity 4. This is activity 5. So I will just leave these both activities on you, and please share with me in comment box that whether you have done these two activities successfully or not. I would love to hear that. Okay, returning a value. This is also a very important feature of function that sometimes you want to return a value from your function. Okay. So a function doesn't always have to display its output directly. Instead, it can process some data and then return a value or set of values. The value the function returns is called a return value. Okay, we will see. Okay, now in this example, what we are doing, that we are actually declared or defined a function which will give the area of the circle, and we are actually declared one parameter here, and what this function is doing, that after calculations, this function is returning a area to us. So now, so this is the function I declared. And now what I am going to do, I am calling this function here, and I am passing one argument because I have used one parameter as the name radius. Now 6 will be passed to radius, and this 6 will come here and it will used or utilized in calculation, and the answer will be stored in area. And when I will use this return, so return is actually a reserve word in Python, and area. So when I will use this like statement, so it will pass this answer to new area. So new area is a variable, and now I can print area of circle is new area. So this is a way that how we can get a value from our function. A function can return any kind of value. So you need it to, including more complicated data structure like list and dictionary. So you can use list and you can use dictionary. And I'm hopeful in next lecture, we will talk about list, and we will just hold this passing list and dictionary when we will talk about, but I will just show you one example here, but we will talk about in detail when we will discuss what is list and what is dictionary and how we can use it. So guys, if you see this example, so in this example, see greet user, you already use this function if you remember in our previous slides. So now the difference is that we have used names here as a parameter. And if you see here, usernames is equal to Hannah, Ty, Margaret. So these are actually the different names, and these names are stored in a list. And this is a very good feature of Python in which we can use multiple values in a list. Now these three values will pass through this variables, and these values will be passed to names, and then you will see that all of this you can find here. So what does it mean? It means that the function which we have written earlier, for example, in our case, I think what we did, that we called our function we passed the value 3 times. So here, instead of passing the value 3 times, so you can use those values in your list, and you can pass that value once, and all those value will be printed. Guys, I hope that you will understand it, and it is very simple, very, very simple. So you can use it very well. Okay, class activity 6. So what is this activity? Write a program by defining a function which should calculate the area of a rectangle and return the value of area. A function should pass two arguments, length of rectangle and breadth of rectangle. Guys, do you know what is the formula of area? Do you know? No problem. So we can just see that. Okay, so now maybe we will just write this function. I will write this function with you so that your concept become more clear. So area of the rectangle, we just see what is the formula for this. Very simple formula, I think length into width. Okay, so now I'm going to write this program with you. Okay, just we delete it. And now what we are doing, write a program by defining a function. Okay, so again, def is the reserved word, and now calculate area, and then we have to use two, like length, two parameters, length and width. Okay, and then we are going to calculate area. So I say area is equal to LE and GTH. Sorry guys, I missed G. Sorry, I missed G here. Length multiply by width. Okay, now I want to return this area. Okay, now my function is completed. And now what I will do, I will pass the values. Okay, I will say area rectangle is equal to calculate area, and I'm going to pass the values. Okay, and then I am just printing or displaying the area. So area, sorry guys, area of a rectangle is okay, and area rectangle. Okay, now we will save it, and now we will run it and see what it. Oh, boom! So area of rectangle is 20. So now you can just see that how it is simple to just declare an area, sorry, to define a function and then return the value from the function, and then you can use it. So guys, so this is I have actually consulted this book for some of the code, and I have also consulted this. And if you want to also consult, so you can just go and just go through it. I hope you like this lecture, and if you want to know more, so please write something in your comment section. Thank you very much for your patience and for listening. So nice of you. Bye bye.